Well, if you are waking up in one of 4 Canadian provinces, you may have recently received an unexpected direct deposit for a very specific amount, $36.29 from something called MNP. It is probably part of a settlement in a 13-year-old class action lawsuit against the parent company of Facebook. And Marianne has been looking into this one. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a nice surprise to wake up
$36
and see that
is still $36.
36 smackaroos that you weren't expecting in your account. In this case, it is from MNP, which is a Calgary-based firm, which was the class action claim administrator for Facebook's parent company, Meta. Now, this all stems from a lawsuit that was launched by a woman in BC more than a decade ago. And this lawsuit alleged that Facebook and Meta were taking Facebook photos from people's different profiles and using them without their consent in advertising in these so-called sponsored posts. Really, ultimately, the lawsuit saying that Meta was violating their privacy rights. So in 2019, this lawsuit expanded outside of British Columbia to include 3 other provinces. That includes Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Newfoundland and Labrador. But in order to be eligible as a class member here, you not only had to apply for this, but you also had to be a resident in those 4 provinces between a very specific period of time, and that's January 1st of 2011 and May 31st of 2014. So that $36.29 was paid out to about 900,000 people who not only applied for this, but also met that criteria. So in order to feel confident in expecting and receiving this money, you have to make sure that you fit into that criteria specifically.
Okay, but still nearly 1 million people. This is a big size, could potentially be a target of scammers. What do people need to know to keep themselves safe?
Well, if you get this money and you're not from any of those 4 provinces,
red flag.
That is a big red flag. So yes, you might say $36.29. That sounds familiar. I know Meta has been paying that out as part of a class action lawsuit. But if you didn't live in BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, or Newfoundland and Labrador within that specific time frame, and if you didn't actually apply to be part of this lawsuit, maybe don't click on that. Here's more on how to stay safe.
Scam artists will look upon this as a golden opportunity to start sending out text messages and email messages saying, you're the lucky recipient of a payout on this class action lawsuit. Click here. Please do not click anything. If you have any doubt, call them. Phone them directly. Don't use a number that's provided in an email, because that just might be a phone number to the scam artist's phone. This is a time when you really do have to have a little bit of skepticism.
Skepticism is good, because there are many class action lawsuits that are currently out there. There's a database. The Canadian Bar Association actually has a compilation of the class action lawsuits by topic and category, and that includes, again, social media sites. Chris, we've been covering this on CBC. There are 5 Ontario school boards and 2 private school boards that have actually launched a lawsuit against social media platforms, saying they have a negative impact on the brains of children. There are similar lawsuits also in the U.S. But very recently, earlier this month in Quebec, Meta actually agreed to pay a $9 million settlement in a class action lawsuit there, also related around privacy, and that settlement will be before the courts next year in February.
All right, Marianne, thank you very much.
You're welcome.